Morning, everyone. Well, happy Sunday, everyone. It is me, Sparrow. And today, we are going to basically be talking about just basically politics, which I know that kind of hits up on the wrong end, but it's not the type of politics you're thinking. It's more like the discussion of politics in general, like, you know, explain a little bit about, I would say, democracy on concepts, but I mean, this is how I see it with democracy. It seems like pubs are making a comeback because the price of everything, which, wars cause too much problems, and wars cost too much, and, you know, then the people start getting no food, and then we all start eating rations. Just remember, boys and girls, war is not the answer. Discussions and proper negotiations and getting rid of certain people in power can fix things a little bit. I would speak from an anarchist side on this. If you know anarchy much more, it can vary through government to royalty. And I'm going to say, personally, that this is my opinion, that the government is kind of on both ends, UK and US and everywhere else right now, is a little bit haywire. And as someone said one time, freedom isn't actually free. It costs a lot of lives. And another problem is that if you have democracy, you're going to end up with, like, maybe a dictator being put into power. Democracy doesn't always mean it fixes the problem. It are uneducated and decide to vote some idiot in power. And that can be on both sides. And the two-party system is a pain. I've watched a couple of podcasts and I've listened to a couple of things, and what some people say about democracy is right. Like, the fact is, it is a democracy. You made people have a choice to vote on who you want as leader. But there's also that other controversy where you basically can also make people vote to not vote. We had a problem with the debt ceiling before when the Republicans were in power, and for some reason it was just easy for them to add more money. Now it's the Democrats are in power. The Republicans are making up a big lot of excuses, and I've noticed it myself that they are very, very sort of like wanting to on their side. They're not siding on anything with the Democrats. They just want things on their side. I have my opinions about the Democrats as well, because the two-party system is kind of not the best route in my cases. I think we should have more options, more opinions, and more people to basically make those options. Alright, I'm going to say this in this video. Religion is a constructive argument. It is basically a concept of, like, do you believe in a God or do you not believe in a God? The concept is, I don't believe in a God, but their concept is that they do believe in a God. Or gods. In the concept that there is more than one God, they believe. So, you've got the Christians believing in Jesus and Jehovah and all this stuff, and then you've got the Jews believing in Jehovah, but believing that Jesus was like a prophet, not God's son. And then you've got the Muslims who believe that Jesus was also a prophet, not God's son. It goes on and on and on like that, and you start to get to that point where it's like, so it makes sense that the belief of Jesus came from the Middle East. So if you really think about this, Jesus wasn't white, he was black. That Christmas, this is what Christmas is like. Well, if you technically say Christmas is like that, wouldn't Christmas be like desert stuff? Because technically your religion comes from the Middle East. Wouldn't it be like deserts and all this other stuff and camels, not snow bears and all that? That's Yule. Like, you guys are taking things from Yule. You're taking things from pagan stuff. You're taking things from all this and putting it as your own. I really don't understand why I have to be forced to basically do it your way. If, for example, I want to celebrate Christmas my own way with some Yuletide stuff in it, that's how I celebrate it, right? I shouldn't have some religious person coming up to me and saying, hey, you shouldn't be celebrating Christmas like that. You should be celebrating it for Jesus. I would like to tell you this right now, and a public say this, that Jesus may not have even existed. And even if Jesus was supposedly born at that time, he'd be more born around May than December, or even November for that matter. He'd be born around May. He probably would love people more than turn people away like you guys have been doing. You say that you should love your neighbor and your enemy, but all I see is you trying to convert me to be religious when I have made my own decision that I don't want to be religious. Sorry I'm bringing this up on my podcast, but it needs to be said. Now the next thing about pubs. You need to understand that pubs are like this really cool thing that you can go to in the UK. Just to keep yourself warm, not just for alcoholic beverages, but you can also get a nice meal from there and basically snacks and meet up with people, become friends with people, you know? Like, you get to hang out with people, you get to meet up with your friends. Those are good signs of the pub. But the bad signs is that sometimes people take it too much and they overdrink themselves. Here's the thing, right? You won't get kicked out of a pub if you basically follow the rules. If you do as they say, you won't get kicked out. Don't cause any problems. Buy food, once in a while, alcoholic beverages, soda, whatever. You probably will be fine. You can spend most of the day in the pub if you really want to. Or if it's an inn, you get to sleep there for the night. And I would say inns are pretty good too, because inns have like a sort of little place for you to sleep. And even though they have somewhere for you to sleep, they have like a place for you to get up in the morning, and most inns make some really good breakfast. So if you do go to England, don't go for an expensive hotel. Try to find a nice inn or something, you know? Because the hotels, they are good, but, you know, they're pretty expensive. That's my opinion on the whole, like, if you want to come to England. Also, you need to understand in England that not many people eat fish and chips. Some people do. Like, I actually like chips and curry, which is actually a Welsh thing, from what I found out. Thank you all for watching. If you did like this podcast, please like and subscribe. I hope you're very helpful. And I will be doing podcasts every Sunday until my cat decides it's not the right thing to do. So, bye!